Welcome to Rock Club's record album review of Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman. My name is Kevin Z, and I am a lifelong musician and music fan. I'd like to think I've gained some musical wisdom over my 50 years of listening to, performing, and studying music from among my many favorite artists. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my Rock Club channel, as I intend to review another monumental album each week. I grew up with classic rock bands like Led Zeppelin, Boston, and Kiss. I watched as new wave bands like Duran Duran hit big on MTV and television shows like Friday Night Videos. I witnessed the evolution of 80s alternative rock and hair metal and the rise of grunge. I'll give you my perspective on epic rock albums spanning across these years. I hope I can pass some of this knowledge along to my daughters, Sky and Ava, whose playlists include songs from my record collection and also my first generation iPod here. Another inspiration has been folks from work who heard my playlist songs, and many of them heard them for the first time, and they commented how today's music had changed so much and how Generation Z can benefit from my knowledge of these great artists and bands. I'm reviewing the artists' albums in their formatted order as they were originally intended to be listened to. So keep in mind, these are my opinions, so feel free to comment, agree, or disagree. So let's begin. Music can provide memories, like from a scene of the movie of your life. Well, in my case, Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman was the soundtrack for a pretty memorable after-school afternoon back in the 8th grade. Pretty sure it was me, Eric, Brent, Vicky, and Dawn. We all went over to Eric's place. His mom was still at work, so we could crank up the stereo, smoke cigarettes, and do the things that teenagers do. On this particular sunny afternoon, we decided to play Spin the Bottle. As fate would have it, I spun the bottle, and it ended up pointing at Dawn. She had feathered blonde hair, kind of like Farrah Fawcett back in the day. Big lips and a very nice body. Somehow, the rules dictated that we had to go into Eric's bedroom closet with the door closed for as long as it took to play one side of a record. Well, we just happened to be listening to Ozzy's Diary of a Madman album that Eric had just bought. So here we are in the dark closet, me and Dawn, with just a hint of sunlight coming through the bifold closet door seam, and we start making out hot and heavy to the sounds of track one, Over the Mountain. My hands start roaming, and pretty soon I'm at second base while Flying High again echoes throughout the house. I'm rounding third base as the track You Can't Kill Rock and Roll rips the stereo speakers. Now, Dawn was the more experienced player, and before I knew it, both of our pants were off. She's on top of me, and I'm crossing home plate with the song Believer playing. It wasn't her first time, but it certainly was mine. And being the late bloomer that I was at age 13, I don't think I even had any grass on the playing field, but she made me into a man. That's some memory. Whew. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman, was released October of 1981 and was Ozzy's second solo studio album. It was recorded very quickly on the heels of Ozzy's first solo effort, Blizzard of Oz, in order to capitalize on the popularity of that album's big hit, Crazy Train. Diary of a Madman was the last to feature the brilliant guitarist Randy Rhoads, who was given co-writing on all the songs off the album. Also credited were bassist Bob Daisley and drummer Lee Kerslake, who were fired when Sharon Arden, aka Sharon Osbourne, took over management of the band and hired Rudy Sarzo as bassist, Tommy Aldrich on drums, to go together with Randy Rhoads and Ozzy on the promotional tour. Track one, side one, opens with a blistering drum fill and rips right into high gear, Over the Mountain. Ozzy's vocals are multi-tracked and sounding huge. Great pre-chorus section with the band jamming in a frenzy and the guitar solo. How can I describe the amazing Randy Rhoads? Shredder, axe master, trailblazer, face melter, legend. That's just the beginning of words to describe him. Track 2, side 1, Flying High, again was the first single off the album and a fan favorite. Live in concert, fans sing along with Ozzy. Mama's gonna worry, I've been a bad, bad boy. No use saying sorry, something that I enjoy. Ozzy is the poster boy for rockstar excess, and he sings about it on this tune. Who hasn't heard of Ozzy's many infamous stories? If it wasn't biting the head off a dove at a record executive meet and greet, dropping his drawers and peeing at the Alamo, snorting up a line of ants poolside in front of Motley Crue. As Ozzy says in this song, am I just a crazy guy, you bet. Track 3, side 1, You Can't Kill Rock and Roll, is a lush song that has a beautiful intro featuring acoustic guitar work from Randy Rhoads with a layer of acoustic mixed in throughout the song. For the young rocker, this song is an anthem of sorts. Leave me alone, don't want your promises no more, 'cause rock and roll is my religion and my law. Another blistering guitar solo from guitar god Randy Rhoads. His tone and feel are amazing, along with his mastery of classical scales that he learned and also taught during his time as a guitar instructor. Track 4, side 1, Believer. Believer is a heavy metal masterpiece. From the opening bass line to the haunting wall of guitar feedback, you know you're in for a treat. Add in synthesized effects for good measure, and you've got one of the best songs on an album full of zingers. The bridge section takes you on a wild ride, followed by a mind-altering guitar solo. Then back to a reprieve of the bridge before the third verse. Randy continues to influence guitarists to this day, and sadly, his life was cut short in a horrible plane crash that Ozzy has said will haunt him for the rest of his life. Track 1, side 2, Little Dolls, begins with a machine gun fire drum intro. It's a mid-tempo rocker about voodoo dolls. Fantastic Randy Rhoads outro soloing on the fade out. A bit about Randy's guitar tones, which are absolutely killer. He would meticulously double, triple, or even quadruple his solo tracks, creating small variances in timing, but making the parts sound absolutely huge. He was an absolute guitar genius. Track 2, side 2, Tonight. It's the official ballad and was the third single released off the album. Piano and keyboards performed by the uncredited Johnny Cook. Its huge sounding production and again features the amazing soloing of Randy Rhoads on an extended fade out outro. Track 3, side 2, S.A.T.O. has a bombastic intro before it phases into a frenetic 6/8 gallop. It is a wild ride featuring great bass guitar work from the much maligned Bob Daly, co-author of most of, if not all of the songs on Diary of a Madman, who would later write a book about his very creative but turbulent relationship with Ozzy and Ozzy's wife Sharon. Suffice it to say that the music business is a vicious dog-eat-dog world. The title track and last song on the album, in my honest opinion, they saved the best for last with Diary of a Madman. In an interview with Bob Daly, he stated that the amazing guitar melodies for the song were influenced by a classical guitar piece of music entitled Etude that Randy was studying with his guitar tutor at the time. This is a lush song and complex arrangement featuring not only acoustic guitar and string arrangements, but scorching electric guitar solos and a backing choir, all building into an epic Ozzy masterpiece. Ozzy Osbourne, Diary of a Madman, his second solo studio release, would sell over 3 million copies worldwide, cementing Ozzy's legendary status as the Prince of Darkness. As mentioned in my intro, it is a very special album for me, and it also left the world wanting more from the shooting star that was the beautifully brilliant Randy Rhoads. God bless his soul. Thanks again for tuning in, and look for more Rock Club record album reviews in the near future. Peace.